We'd like to say a huge thank you to Miles Roberts and to Kia in Blackpool for the loan of their Kia eNiro for a week, and also for looking after our Tesla Model S for a week. The service has been excellent.
Hello and welcome to another episode, and welcome to the much anticipated but not very available Kia eNiro.
The eNiro comes standard with an onboard 7 kilowatt charger and CCS with up to 77 kilowatt charging speeds when using a suitable high power charger. Styling is modern, although a little bland and run of the mill. However, we have to remember the target market here. This is a family hatch, not a two-seat sports car, and it's based on its fossil fuel counterpart that's been in production since 2016. As standard, the eNiro has LED DRLs, side lights and brake lights, but no LEDs or xenons for the headlights. However, don't be disappointed. Driving at night is fine, and what I thought would be substandard turned out to be anything but. Next up, the Florence factor. The higher roofline meant getting the car seat and Florence in and out was really very easy, and there's a noticeable and positive difference. And of course, less backache. The boot is rather deceptive, and at first glance the high floor gives you a feeling of not much is going to fit in there. However, it's not so. We were both pleasantly surprised when our pushchair was swallowed up with ease. We weren't expecting that. More brownie points for the eNiro. So far, so good.
As you can see, the Kia eNiro has a predicted range of up to 282 miles per charge, but I think they've underestimated that, and I think if you employ an eco-foot, you could get over 300 miles. Bolted under the floor is the lithium-ion battery pack with an impressive usable 64 kilowatt hours of energy. And under here, the inverter and the motor produce just over 200 brake horsepower and just under 300 pound-feet of torque, and that gives a 0 to 60 time of just under 8 seconds.
You have 4 different driving modes in the eNiro: Eco, Normal, Sports, and if you hold down the selector for a few seconds, you get Eco Plus. However, what we need right now is Sports. We're not overly sure how, but the 0 to 60 time came in at 6.6 seconds, over a second quicker than what Kia advertised.
And stepping inside, this first edition eNiro has a really impressive spec. Take a look for yourself. Predominantly throughout the interior you've got this soft touch plastic which gives it a nice plush feel, but at the bottom of the door card you've got the hard wearing scratchy plastic, so it doesn't really matter if your feet catch the doors. And I don't know if you've noticed, but just here there's a JBL stereo. I can't wait to hear that.
The driver's seat is electrically adjustable, as is the bolster, so finding the correct position doesn't take long.
Sadly though, the passenger only gets manual.
You have a manual reach and rake adjustment for the steering column, and the dashboard layout, as you'd expect, is excellent with everything in easy reach. The drive selector is easy to use, but may catch you out if you're a little too quick through changes. There are plenty of USBs and split storage, and if your phone supports wireless charging, you don't even need a cable. Android Auto and Apple CarPlay are standard, and the many buttons and knobs have a reassuring feel to them. The TFT display is clear and well laid out with easy to use menus, and you'll find safety features are in abundance here. Someone has really put some thought into the eNiro. It's full of clever ideas like these retractable cup holders and a simple USB access hole. Storage is everywhere. There's a drinks holder in every door card, front and rear. You have lit vanity mirrors, and our wiper obsession continues. These are excellent and very, very quiet. The leatherette seats are comfortable and supportive and finished to a very high standard. And if you jump into the back, you'll find leg, headroom and overall space is ample, even when sharing with a child seat. If you drop down the centre armrest, you'll find more cup holders. What's not to like?
Hello, so I am at Chorley Kia Motors in Blackpool, and I've just picked up the eNiro. First impressions are, it's beautiful inside, it's really well made. Also, just a little bit of a difference between the Kona and the eNiro is it doesn't have that huge intrusive screen sitting in the front. This seems to be a lot more integrated. Anyway, I'm not going to harp on too much about it. I'm showing a range of 247 miles, and I've used the Android Auto and I've put in my home destination, and that is 141 miles. So there'll be no charging needed here, and that is for sure. So let's go.
I'm at the end of day 3 and the eNiro's done so well again. I've done 50 miles today, bang on. I started with 156 miles on the range and I've got 114. So I've only used 42 mile range for my 50 mile trip. So it performed incredibly well again, so efficient, and that makes me happy. And I've saved lots of carbon dioxide, so really pleased with that. It's telling me I'm driving at around about, I think it's an average of 4.3 miles per kilowatt hour, which isn't too bad. I looked back at the driving history on the infotainment system, and whoever's had it before either doesn't know how to drive electric cars or doesn't care, because it's been averaging around about 2.4 miles per kilowatt hour. So 4.3, quite proud.
Good morning. It is 5 a.m. and I'm just leaving home now. I'm going to go and pick up a colleague, and we're heading off down to Oxford. So journey down there 88 miles and journey back 88 miles. So on the range we're showing 288 miles, so completely within the eNiro's capability. But let's see just how accurate that is. Past experience for me certainly is it's very accurate, so I'm thinking it's going to be much of a muchness. So anyway, see you there.
Drive down, mostly motorway, was covered predominantly using the eNiro's lane follow assist. It's a Nissan Leaf Pro Pilot equivalent, and I'm pleased to say it's excellent. It also managed some of these narrower roads, which I wasn't expecting at all. Our return journey was a wet one, but that gave us more time to test the reliability of the lane follow assist, and again, in incremental weather, it was faultless.
Okay, that's me at home. I travelled 88 miles down to Williams and 88 miles back. I've done a little bit of running around while I've been home. It comes in a total of 179 miles, so a good distance. Remaining on the dash, 105, so quite impressive. 39% of the battery still there. If I did this journey in our Model S, I get to Warwick, in the same journey I get to Warwick with about 33%. So I'm completely gobsmacked. The efficiency of this car at 70 miles an hour is between 4 and 5 miles per kilowatt hour, and that is just exceptional. So for range, if that's what you're looking for, you need to get yourself one of these. They are excellent.
This is the first time we've managed to be in the Kia eNiro together, at last. I've had it for a large portion of the week, and James has had it for the last couple of days. So I think we've both had a fair opportunity to see what it's like and engage sort of how we feel about it. So what do you reckon?
Largely, I love it. I think for the price point, the way it performs, what you get inside, it's one of the best package offers out there at the moment. I mean, this and the Kona, which is largely the same car, are really up there, and probably why the demand's so high for them. There's a few pros, there's a few cons. In fact, there's a lot more pros than there are cons, but overall my experience has been very good. But I haven't driven it as much as Kate. So what should we start with? The styling? Yeah, the outside. What do you think of the looks of it?
I love
that already.
I like how it looks. There's a couple of things I don't like about it, and a few other people have pointed this out, and that is the fake grille on the front.
Okay.
I just don't think it needs to be there. And a few people have said that, and I was a bit like, why are you saying that? And then actually, no, I looked at it today and I thought, yeah, that could go. But other than that, I do quite like the styling of it. I don't think it's overly dateable. So I don't think it's going to sort of go out of date too quickly and look old-fashioned. Yeah.
You see how I'm the other way. I like the front. I think the front looks acceptable. I don't like the back.
Do you not?
No, I don't. I think the styling doesn't float my boat at all, really. It's okay, but it's not really... It doesn't make me look at it and go, well, that's nice.
Yeah, so. I know what you mean. I'm not saying this is a beautiful car, but it's okay. And the other good thing about it is it looks like a normal car. You wouldn't be able to pick it out necessarily unless you knew, apart from the fake grille, that it's an EV.
Yes, okay.
And I like that about it.
but that wouldn't stop me owning one. That wouldn't be a deal breaker for me.
No, it wouldn't for me.
Aesthetics are important, but they're not the most important. So
Agreed.
yeah,
Inside,
yeah.
it's nice, but there's too many buttons. And I've got a thing, I know perhaps people think I've got a thing about buttons, but there's 12 buttons on the steering wheel. 12.
There is 14.
14, there's 14
There's
buttons.
two flappy paddles for the
Oh, yeah,
regen.
if you count them.
Yeah, and they are technically on the steering wheel. Oh no, 15.
With the horn. So there's a lot of buttons, and
Yeah.
it's a bit confusing. And we had this conversation the other night, didn't we? And you said
Yeah.
the thing is, you would get used to it, and you'd just be flicking buttons, and you wouldn't even have to look. And I agree with you, but for me, not a fan of the buttons.
No, too many.
Too many.
Yeah, I think you have to bear in mind that we're with the Tesla. It's kind of, just bear with me. It's minimalistic, isn't it? There's nothing in there. There's 2 buttons in the center console and the window switches, the indicator stalks, but not much more. So largely, it's the complete opposite of what we're used to. Whereas somebody who would be getting in this from, say, an internal combustion Kia would think nothing of it. It would just be a natural transition, wouldn't it? So for us, it doesn't suit. There's too many buttons, but that doesn't mean it won't suit for you.
Infotainment system's decent.
It is.
Got Apple Play, Android Auto.
Yeah. I can comment on the Android Auto. I don't know about the Apple CarPlay because I haven't used it. How was the Apple CarPlay for you?
Yeah, it's been really good.
So the Android Auto side of it is a bit glitchy, and I don't think that's the car. That's an Android Auto thing. So I know that the software for that is still being written and there's issues with it. The voice commands don't work particularly well with Android Auto, but I've found that in other cars as well. That's just an Android Auto thing. So whilst we're on the infotainment system, we want to talk about the stereo because it is brilliant. So JBL, it's got a subwoofer in the boot. I know the sound never comes through, it never does, but we have a test song. It's Sail by AWOL Nation. We're going to play it. Hit it. Have you heard it in it yet?
Yeah, no, not this song. Stereo, yes.
That is fantastic.
That's good.
You like that?
Yeah,
That
I
is
do
very
like
good.
that.
I think that over all the other stereos, I think the best one is the I-Pace with the Meridian stereo.
Do you think?
Yeah, and I think that is second. I think that beats the Bose.
Do you think it beats our Leaf?
Well, yeah. And that's an important thing for us. The stereo's got to be good. We love our music, don't we?
Yeah.
So yeah, it needs to be up there. So thumbs up for that. Range.
Well,
It's almost like we don't need to talk about it because it's so good.
it is so good, but that's why we do need to talk about it. Because it's one of the best.
It is. It almost means that range isn't a thing anymore. It's just not. It's still got 96 miles on it. I've driven to Wantage, the other side of Oxford, 88 miles. I've driven back. We've been driving around, ferrying things around, doing different jobs, and it's still got 95 miles now. It's just awesome.
It is awesome.
4.3 miles per kilowatt hour, and that's a mix of Kate driving and me. I managed to get it down to 4. You had it at 4.5 or 4.4.
Yeah, did.
So incredible efficiency, and it will do that on the motorway at 70 miles an hour. It's between 4 and 5 miles per kilowatt hour. I mean, that's our Tesla's 3.3.
You definitely would get more than 282 miles. Because every day I've had this, it's overperformed
What, on range?
on range.
So so say you had 20 miles, it would drive 25. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, let's
Okay.
work it out then. Yeah, my brain.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, that's quite impressive.
it's been really, really good. Yeah, I've been well impressed. And I think, for the money that this costs and for the range that you get, this is going to be one of the cars that makes EV driving possible and more tempting, I suppose,
Yes.
for the general population.
Yes, I think so.
I can't believe that how long ago did we buy our Leaf? 7 years.
Yeah, something like that.
7 years ago, we paid what 25,000 after the grant.
Yeah.
For a car that did 90 miles to a charge.
On a good day.
On a good day.
Yeah.
And now you get a car for 33,000 that does 282 plus.
Yeah.
It's just mad.
Yeah, times have changed. They've changed for the better. This is a really fantastic car.
Yeah.
So, a couple of the features that have really stuck out for me are, sorry, I'm just pulling out of a junction, are the regen. It's got adaptive regen, so you can either have the regen in manual, where you have it on level 0, 1, 2, 3 or 4, 0 being obviously 0 and 4 being really aggressive. It's quite ferocious, in fact, kind of i3 Tesla level. But then you've also got auto regen. It will control it for me, and I can just take my foot off the accelerator and it will adapt to what's going on with the traffic in front, and it works brilliantly.
Yeah, it does. And did you know if you want to increase it manually, you just press that?
Oh yeah, so you can just, without using the foot brake, you can just pull on that. Yes, yeah, I've done that as well. It's awesome. It's so good. So the new best thing about regen is adaptive regen.
It is impressive.
At the junction back there, just slowing down, you get a small display that comes up between the power and charge on the TFT display in front of you. It shows you what you're regenerating in points of a mile, so 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4. And it's excellent. It becomes like a competition with yourself to get it more and more and more. Now, anybody who's gone into Warwick services from the southbound going north will know that there's a big hill that sort of winds all the way down, and then the service is at the bottom. And I managed to get 2.2 miles.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did. 2.2 miles regen.
That is impressive.
Yeah, that was good work. I was quite impressed by that, because it's all very well seeing what you're getting in watt hours, but actually when it works out for you at your current rate, what you're getting in distance, that's good.
It's better than getting trees.
It's much better than getting trees or butterflies or whatever else you get.
Yeah.
So it's a very nice feature.
An important thing for me was, other than the seats, which we'll talk about, is Florence. Getting Florence in and out the back, getting the car seat in and out the back, getting the pushchair in the boot. And the boot isn't enormous, is it? It's not the biggest, but you can get the pushchair in.
Yes.
So, and I think with the seats folded down, they're 60-40.
Yeah.
60-40. With them folded down, you'd have a lot of room. So, getting Florence in and out the back is so much easier.
Because of the roof line, or just?
Because of the roof line, yeah, I think. And because the seat's higher. And do you know what? Over the week it's become easier for some reason. Perhaps we've got used to it, I don't know. But fitting the car seat, getting her in, I'm not having to bend so much, and I'm not hitting my head, which is really nice. Not to hit my head. So
Sorry.
that is good. And Florence really likes it. Every time we get in this car, she's just like, Daddy's car, Daddy's car. She really likes this car. She gets very excited.
It's not my car, and it's not becoming my car either.
She wants to get in it every time we walk past it. So, yeah.
That's good.
It is.
That's good. So, pushchair in the back, Florence factor.
Good.
All good?
All good.
Excellent.
And the seats are comfortable. The one thing that's a bit disappointing is that the passenger seat isn't electrically adjustable. It's manual.
Okay.
So it's not as adjustable as the driver's seat.
Yeah. So you've got. Can you lift it?
You can.
Can you lift the base height?
You can lift the base height. You can recline and obviously unrecline, and that's pretty much it. Forwards and backwards.
Okay.
So that's a bit of a shame, but they are heated.
Yeah.
Which is a bonus.
Heated steering wheel too.
And heated steering wheel.
Yeah.
Is there an app you can get then that you can turn the heating on from inside the house? No.
It's a Kia thing. There is in other parts of the world, but not here.
That's
Go to
a
the US.
real shame.
Yeah, it is. So.
Okay. Would I have one? Is that what you're going to ask me?
Maybe.
I do really like it, and yes, I probably could get used to the buttons. It wouldn't be a put off. This would probably be the first time I felt that I could potentially, if the seats were comfortable, swap it for the Tesla, purely for the finance of it, because it's so much cheaper and the range is better.
Yeah.
It's just mad.
Than ours.
Yeah, better
Yeah.
than our Model S. So, and it's the first time I've said that. I wouldn't love it as much as I love the S, but financially I know it makes sense, and I just think, yeah, it's all right. It's nice. But I think there's other things coming out in the pipeline soon, which could be comparable.
That is a problem there that you've just said, because I probably wouldn't have this.
No?
No, I wouldn't, and the reason for that is, which is really, really very disappointing, is that you can't actually get one. Like, they are like hen's teeth, because that pipeline that you were talking about is been blocked off. So it's a real shame, that is. It's sort of off-putting to the brand and to EVs. It's a real stick in the mud.
I think especially if somebody's eventually made a decision to go EV, and then they get that hold up, that could be the thing that puts them off, and they just be like, well, that's it, I tried, it was just too much of a pain, and that's it. So
that's the
shame.
thing. I saw something on Twitter which was quite interesting, and somebody said, I'll love all EVs when I can go and buy one on a Saturday afternoon from the dealer.
Yeah.
And that is exactly where we need to be.
Yeah.
It's true.
Hopefully one day.
A really, really good point.
Yeah.
Really good point.
Well, it's a good car.
So you saying you'd have one and I wouldn't?
I'm saying I'd have one. Now you've talked about the charging, that's put me off a little bit.
Okay, pretend I didn't talk about the charging, because 280, 300 miles is enough for you to drive pretty much. To get to Aberdeen, you need to stop once.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I probably am saying that then. This doesn't happen very often, does it?
No. It's normally the other way around.
I like it. I think it's just been so easy. The boot bothers me because of the size of it and fitting stuff in, but getting her in and out was so easy.
And that's only going to get easier.
Yeah.
As she grows, she'll be getting herself in and out, and probably the pushchair.
She'll have less stuff.
Obsolete, yeah.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and follow us on Twitter @KatePhantom, and we'll see you again soon with another episode.